Okay, this is Mr. Van Kaplan. Today we're going to do lesson 13. It's an assembly file, and it's a culmination of the 2D sketches and the 3D solid figures you've made. Now you're going to make multiple parts, and you're actually going to put them together. So we're going to make 3 parts first in part 1. The first thing I want you to do is, starting the XY plane, make a circle. Let's give it a dimension of 1.5 inches. Let's go ahead and make it 2 inches. Okay, and then I want you to extrude that, finish 2D sketch. Let's do a symmetric, and let's go 3 inches. Okay, now you can make this any color you want and change the color. Go with an orange for this. Okay, once you've done that, a 2 inch in diameter, and then extrude it 3 inches, do a file, save as. Save it as assembly cylinder. Okay, we've done that, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to make another part file. Standard IN. This time we're going to make a square peg. That's what we're going to call it. Okay, so start with your sketch. Keep it in the XY plane. We want to make a rectangle. Our cylinder was 2 inches in diameter. We're going to do the same thing here. Okay, so we've got a 2 by 2 square. Make sure you got the dimensions, and it has constraints built in where the opposite sides are parallel, and they should already be there. Let's see if we show constraints. Okay, so we're there. Finish 2D sketch, rezoom it. Again, you want to extrude this one 3 inches as well. Okay. Let's change that. Let's make it 4. Okay, again, pick a color. Go with a smooth green. Okay, save this. File, save as. Assembly square. And you can see I'm putting 2's on there. I've done this before, but I'm changing it. It's going to be a little bit different now. Okay, that's our second part, and we're going to make one more, actually 2 more parts. Okay, the next one we're going to do a triangle. Again, keep your XY plane. Starting at the origin is a good thing. Let's do that. Okay, so you've made that line. Let's dimension it to 2 inches. Okay, I'm going to move that up. Actually, it's pretty. It's kind of tough to see. Move the line. And it's not going to. That's okay. We're also going to make another line. So find the center point and hover over that, and it'll turn green. Okay. And then you want to go back to your origin. And back here. Okay, So now it makes a right triangle. That's not what we want. We want an equilateral. So let's try something here. Let's try vertical constraint. May have to go in and delete the dimensions, which is okay. Okay. And how I did that, I'm going to back it up here. Okay, we've got a right triangle, 2-inch sides we dimensioned, but it turned into a right triangle. That's not, obviously it's not what we want. We want an equilateral triangle. So we're going to do a vertical constraint, which you've done in lesson 4, with this point here, the vertex of the triangle, and the halfway point of our base, okay, or the midpoint. You do that, right click OK, and let's check our dimensions. I bet you it's still 2 inches, and it is. Okay, and it won't let you do that side because it's locked in with it. Okay, so make sure it looks like this. We're going to finish 2D sketch. We're going to extrude this as well, and let's go 3 inches here. I've got an orange and green. Let's go with the blue on this. Not a smooth blue, is there? Here's our blue. Okay, and we're going to save this as assembly triangle. Okay. So that's our third part, and we've got one more. We've got the thing we're going to actually insert these parts to. So our last one. Choose your XY plane. Make a rectangle. I want you to dimension it to be 9 on the top, and then 7 height, so 9 by 7 rectangle. And there's actually a couple ways we can go about doing this. We're going to put our square, our circle, and our triangle in here. Okay, and we're going to insert those pegs. If you were a little kid, you may remember having a pegboard toy where you put it through there. So our rectangle was 2 inches. Our circle was 2 inches. And so was our triangle. Okay, let's see if we can fit all this. I may have to change this. Okay, dimension that to 2, to 2, to 2. Let's draw our line. Always make sure you connect. And I'm going to do that vertical constraint again, this vertex to the midpoint, which is okay. Let's see if it'll do this. Should do it to both sides, and it does. Okay, that's a pretty tight fit, so instead of 10 inches, let's change that to 11, and that gives us a little bit more room to work with. Okay, now we're going to go and add some constraints to get this where it's all lined up and looks good. Okay, so let's do a vertical constraint with the midpoint and the circle. And you see it shifted everything over. Okay, let's do a horizontal constraint with the midpoint here and here. Okay, see if you can find it there. There, it moves that up. That's going to be tough. Here and here. Okay, and everything's lined up and centered good. Probably put a little bit more space. See what this is. Okay, 1.48. Let's make it 1.5. Make that 1.5 as well. From here, there. Okay, instead of 1.5 here, let's make it 2. Okay, from the halfway point of the base of your triangle to this end. Okay, so now we've got a plate where we're going to go and insert those. So right click, finish 2D sketch. I'm going to zoom in so you can see all the constraints again. Okay, you have an 11 by 7 rectangle, a 2 by 2 square that's 1.5 inches, and we've done vertical and horizontal constraints with this midpoint and the center point of the circle, the midpoint of this line. The circle, we did a vertical constraint with the middle of the overall rectangle. From the midpoint of your base to here is 2 inches. So this is pretty complex, a lot of dimensions. Let's extrude this. Do a symmetric extrusion. I think let's go 0.75 or a ½ inch. Okay. And again, I want you to pick a color for this. I'm going to make mine wood. Okay, you can see walnut is the name of it. Save that as assembly plate. Okay, so we're done with the first part. We've made our 4 part files. In the next video we're going to do an assembly file, which you haven't done yet, and you're going to learn how to put those tags we made into these open spaces. Okay, so save this, or you saved all your separate part files, and we're done for this part. On part 2 we're going to do an assembly.